So I think it's worthwhile when we go, as we're going forward here, to look at what population does for us in terms of uniformity of cob and rapidity of dry down. So lower populations are going to allow more light into the crop. So the crop's not going to be slowed down from lack of light, or it's going to be less slowed down. It's going to allow more uniform cob development and more uniform dry down. Yes, potentially you can sacrifice a little bit of yield, but if all we're doing is trying to go for the highest yielding crop, we're going to just add more risk to Jay at the other end in terms of getting the damn thing off. Because again, you can get that extra 2 tonne of grain, crop's a month longer, and you lost 6 tonne over winter.
So what sort of numbers are you thinking, John?
I would definitely be playing, and you want to take the two extremes. I would take, for argument's sake, a variety like Obelix, and I'd plant it at 110,000, and I'd plant it at 95,000, and 80,000, and 60,000.
Wow, that's a big range.
Yeah, and I'm looking for 2 things: yield and dry down.
And there's a big saving there in seed cost alone.
Well, what's seed cost?
Roughly speaking, seed's going to be roughly $400 for 72,000 seeds, and everybody's in the same sort of ballpark. The interesting thing to look at in population, again, because our issue is getting it off in time, is what a lower population does to uniform growth and yield. So you take a plant which is getting at a high population, which is getting shaded out by others. That's why you often don't get a good cob on every plant. That's fine. But if we spread it out to get to a point where we're saying you're getting 1 good cob on every plant, so we're getting more uniform light, we're distributing the same amount of light across, at an extreme, half the population. So every plant's got twice as much light. That could precipitate no significant drop in yield.
Wow.
Then you take the dry down, and it's got the plants are going to grow more robustly, so it's not going to halve the amount of material, but you got more uniform cobs, so your dry down's going to be more uniform. You're going to get more airflow through it. But it's not hard to do. You simply plant, you change your planter, and you simply plant, one header widths, header widths at one population, header widths at the next population, and you repeat it, and you get your grain yield. And you got a moisture meter out here, because what you're really looking at is, hey, what's my moisture on my 100,000 population versus my, 60,000 I think is too low.
Yeah, but
you want to take those extremes. Yeah. And that'll vary a little bit on varieties as well. It's not about maximising your yield. It's about fitting this crop in your season.
That's good advice.
Without taking silly risks.